Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I just want to share with you guys just a few tips and tricks that my husband and I have been using and implementing in our home as we try to cope and deal with this pandemic, this quarantine, this lockdown. I'm just going to share with you guys just 10 of the things that we have been doing that I was able to think of off the top of my head to just try to, retain some normalcy and to stay afloat and to try to flatten the curve and to stay ahead of this thing without allowing it to completely take our sanity. So if you're interested in hearing about those 10 things, then please keep watching. Okay, so tip number 1 is to work if you can. My husband and I are actually both still gainfully employed at the filming of this video, and we both are still reporting to our full-time jobs. My husband actually is even earning more just given his line of work, so that has been really helpful during this time. I'm continuing to go to work. When asked if I want to work or whatever, I am choosing to say yes because I can fully do my job from home. So if that's an option to you, if you can work from home without compromising your health or the health of anyone else, then I'm going to recommend that, because if you're going to be home anyway, then I feel like if the option's available to you to work from home, fully take advantage of it if you are capable. Tip number 2 is to continue bill payments if you can. I know that different agencies and companies are offering relief for those who can't make payments or who are really heavily impacted by this. So if you can continue to make payments, I'm going to encourage you to do so. That's something for me that is, it was already a part of my normal budget anyway, paying our bills. My husband keeps coming to me every day, texting me every 3 seconds about, Georgia Power is waiving this and this person. I don't know if these articles are even factual. I'm not even reading into it. I'm just gonna continue to make my bill payments as per usual, and I'm not going to try to go down the path of trying to save on bills, but I am going to try to save in other areas. Tip number 3 is to cease or minimize debt payments. For us, we are going to be paying the minimum on our student loans. Those are the only debts that we have. Technically, we currently owe the IRS from 2019, and while that is a debt, I don't necessarily consider it to be a debt, because unlike student loans, we have put money aside for taxes in 2019 so that we could pay the taxes. So we have the money to pay the IRS as well. I did read an article where I think they have extended that. Depending on how things shake out, I can fully 100% say that we were going to pay the IRS the money that we owe them, which I'll have a video linked up here if you're interested in that, by the due date, the original due date, which was April the 15th. We probably even were gonna make it at the end of March just to kind of get it out the way. But if there is an extension to July 15th, which is what I'm hearing, a 3-month extension, then we may kind of just tread lightly with that, but we're for sure going to move that money to an account and leave it alone and not deal with it, because that's money from 2019 that we're supposed to pay them. But just given everything that's going on, that might be the one thing that I kind of tread lightly on, but I'm for sure I have the money to pay them, we have the money to pay them, and we are for sure going to be making the minimum payments on debt. If you guys follow, we were going to be getting back to paying off my husband's student loans literally this month in March, or like in the coming weeks, for sure by April, but tragedy has struck, and so therefore we're not going to be doing that. That's just crazy to me. So if you're in that situation, even if your job seems to be a little stable, I would probably still say it's worth I don't see any harm in putting that money aside, waiting for things to kind of go back to normal, and then making that debt payment. Because let's say you were setting out to pay $100 extra towards your car loan. Well, if you continue to keep that as a part of your budget and keep that as a normal thing that you were already going to be doing, but just put that money aside in a different account, and then whenever this all blows over, then go ahead and make that extra debt payment, which by that time you may have a few $100s, which you'll be charged a little bit more interest if you're not making that extra payment towards principal. But I feel like that's a risk that we all should be willing to make sure that that we're taking care of our home and we're not making extra payments towards debt. Tip number 4 is to minimize unnecessary spending if it's not, so there's a lot of conflict going on, and I'm even toward myself about wanting to just hoard money. Also, I kind of want to spend it just because we're in a crisis, and I just feel like spending a little money because it's a normal thing. I mean, it's just a normal thing that I've been doing, you know, like trying to decorate the house as an example. So I feel like a lot of people are torn between hoarding money and spending money to keep the economy flowing, and I feel like I'm kind of in the middle. I am trying to decrease unnecessary spending, so whereas we were gonna do some remodels in our home that we just bought 3 months ago, the brand new house that was just built 3 months ago, we were gonna start some remodeling projects, some that weren't gonna be too costly, you know, a few $100s here, a few $100s there for recessed lighting and things like that. I don't really see how that's relevant during this time. So while I may purchase a little decor item here or a decor item there, we're definitely not gonna be having any major projects done or anything like that. As far as hair appointments and nail appointments, if places are closed, I'm not gonna be beating down their doors to get in there to get my nails and hair done. I actually texted my hairstylist today, and she was saying that she wasn't closed, and so like a part of me wants to go get my hair done because I already had a hair appointment for a month anyway, and that part of me wants to put money in her pocket because I know this is going to be a time where she's going to need that money, because it's a lot of money to get the hairstyle that I'm going to get. But you know, another part of me is like, I'm not really trying to leave the house, so I don't know, it's just a very tricky situation. So all I can say is try to just completely, you know, rid yourself of any unnecessary discretionary spending during this time. Tip number 5 is to save extra income. So like I mentioned previously, if you're going to be stopping unnecessary spending or discretionary spending, and you're going to be maybe cutting back on debt payments, then that should essentially give you some extra income that you can save. So I'm going to encourage you guys to save any and extra income. I know during this time, like I said, people are going about business as usual as far as, you know, I've seen people going out to eat, and well, they recently, you know, cut that out, but people were going out to eat, people are going through the drive-through, people are going in and grabbing their food and leaving, people are going to Walmart and picking up food items but also picking up other items while they're there, that kind of thing. But if you can try to save any income that you can, I feel like that's going to be very pertinent during this time. Just stopping the discretionary spending and just trying to save whatever it is that you can. Like I said, we're all going to still be, you know, spending money that we probably really shouldn't be spending, but if you can just save what you can, that is what I'm going to recommend. Tip number 6 is to check in with your finances daily. That may sound a little dramatic, and I'm not saying do like a full-blown budget every day, but if you could just check your credit card accounts, or check your bill pay accounts, like, you know, your electricity accounts, or check your checking accounts or your savings accounts. Just checking in with your money, seeing what's all going on, making sure you're still on track. Like I said, you don't have to do a full-blown budget, but just making sure that you are staying afloat and, you know, trying to get ahead of this is what I can recommend. Tip number 7 is to know that no one could have prepared for this, especially as millennials. I'm pretty sure I can speak for us all by saying that we never thought that we would encounter something of this. And for some people, it has already been catastrophic. Like for us, we're still working full time, so it hasn't quite been catastrophic. But just know that you couldn't have prepared for this. You would have to be able, this isn't something that money can necessarily help with. You could have saved up a year's worth of bill money, but you know, this is just something that we could never have prepared for. This is causing people to not work, to lose their jobs, to be laid off, to not bring in income. Like, this is nothing that any of us could have prepared for. So know that, you know, maybe people are out there saying this is why you need an emergency fund, or you should have been saving this, or this is why you need extra income sources. Yeah, that's all well and good, but for the most part, I know that people couldn't have prepared for this, because even I could not have prepared for this, and I'm a preparer, and I couldn't have prepared for this. So just know that there are people out there who are also struggling in some type of way just like you, and you're not alone. Tip number 8 is to listen to what officials say. So if they're saying minimize your time outside, minimize your time around people, wash your hands frequently, X, Y, and Z, do those things. These people know what they're talking about. Your friend might not, unless your friend, you know, works for the CDC or something. Your family member probably might not know, because they probably read an article from 2012, but listen to officials. These people know what they're talking about, and that's what we need to be doing right now. Tip number 9 is easier said than done, so I really don't even want to say it, but I have to say it anyway in the most in layman terms, and that is to remain calm. I know there are people who deal with anxiety already, or depression, or whatever the case is, and this is only exacerbating their symptoms and their feelings and their experiences. But if you can remain calm and not panic, then I'm going to encourage you to do that. But like I said, I fully understand that there are people who, I mean, this is just flipping their world upside down. But if you can remain calm, take deep breaths, practice, use your coping skills, utilize your coping skills, learn new coping skills because you're in the house anyway, then that is what I'm going to recommend doing. And tip number 10 is to practice gratitude. You know, during this time, it's very tricky to, you know, openly practice gratitude. I feel like it's kind of, people aren't really trying to hear that. Like for me and my husband, we wake up every day and we practice gratitude by saying, you know, even though we're complaining about going to work during this time, which is annoying on the one hand, on the other hand, we are grateful to still have jobs because we don't know how long this is gonna last. We just know that as for right now, we have jobs. Like for me, like I said, I have the ability to completely work from home. My husband at his job, they're all taking precautionary measures and whatnot, but we do still have a job. So, and people, you know, we still have a house. You might still have your house, I'm hoping. You have water, you have electricity, you know. Practice gratitude and be thankful for the things and grateful for the things that you do have, even though there is nothing but turmoil amidst all of us. So you guys, those are the tips and tricks that I have for you today. The things that we have been using to kind of just stay afloat. Also, maybe bonus tip, try to find, trying to take advantage of this time. For me, you know, I just did my makeup for the first time in 2 months. I'm feeling pretty good. Coincidentally, I had a fill-in right before the lockdown and right before, you know, this stuff like really hit Georgia. So I'm feeling pretty good about myself. So for which case, even though I'm locked down, I can't really go nowhere but outside and back in and to the post office to dump some packages, you know. But long story short, just try to take advantage of this time and use it wisely. And maybe, you know, you can get caught up on cleaning, organizing, spending time with friends, not like really together, but like over the phone or on FaceTime. This is a time where you can, you know, just seize the opportunity. Like I said, none of us could have prepared for this. We don't know what's gonna happen. All we can do is take it day by day and just try to find some normalcy within each day. So you guys, again, those are my tips and tricks for trying to fight this thing. If you have any comments or suggestions or anything, leave them down below and we can read them and maybe take from them. But those are the things that I'm going to suggest and recommend. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.